Welcome to 8 Minutes TV, Alfred Asks. Today is a very special occasion because I'm here with the one and only Ashvin Antony. Ashvin, thanks for coming today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so honored to be in your presence because, I've known you since freshman year.
Yeah.
And you think this is just hype, but seeing how you've been on the grind, being able to, navigate your Vanderbilt experience and make the most of it, and now getting ready for med school.
Yeah.
I am so proud of you and
Thank
from
you.
a distance, bro.
I appreciate that. I'm proud of you as well.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Ashvin.
These last 4 years.
Thank you, Ashvin. So Ashvin is majoring in MHS and neuroscience. He's a senior here at Vanderbilt. He took the MCAT and he did great. He's gotten into med schools, and today I just want you to help the Vanderbilt community to, learn how to go about the whole process. I want you to share some insights. How easy was it for you to actually go through the whole process? So I'm gonna start by asking, was it always your dream to actually go the pre-med route?
No, so yeah, it's interesting. So coming into Vanderbilt, I had done like a lot of work with like service organizations in high school. So I knew that I wanted to help out with marginalized communities coming in, but I just like didn't know in what capacity I wanted to do that. So I was at first like really interested in like public health, but then I took this MHS class which focused on how pervasive racial health disparities are in the United States, and I was just like, whoa, that's really cool. Like doctors can actually make a huge impact, not only on like the one-on-one level with patients, but also like on the more societal and institutional level. I was just like, wow, doctors have the ability to do both of those things, and I think like that's the best way to have the biggest impact as you possibly can. So that's like kind of like what planted in my head for the first time that like being pre-med and like becoming a doctor would be like a possible career option for me. But like throughout freshman year, throughout sophomore year, like I took the pre-med classes, but like I never was truly like set in stone about becoming a doctor. I still have that debate in my mind about like, okay, do I want to become a doctor or do I want to become like a policymaker or a public health official or something along those lines?
Right.
But then my junior year, I like did some really cool shadowing in like a lot of different settings, right from like the VA hospital to like the pediatrics department at Vandy to like underserved clinics in Nashville, and just being able to see with my own eyes, what the doctor's lifestyle is on a day-to-day basis helped set in my mind that I do indeed want to become a doctor. So yeah, it was a long process, but junior year I finally like stuck with it and went full speed forward.
So it all started with that one class you took your freshman year?
Yeah.
And you kind of went out of your way to try to find experiences that kind of validates how you feel about the track.
Yeah, exactly. So like after I took that class, I started reaching out to like the HBAO office for like more information about how to go about completing the pre-med track. I started getting myself involved with research and just doing other things like that, just like preparing myself mentally and like seeing if becoming a doctor is truly the career path I want to
Nice. Talk about being proactive. That's impressive, bro. That's impressive because I feel like, there's this quote I really like, and it says dreams don't work unless you do.
Yeah.
And we all have these dreams from freshman year, and it takes a lot to be able to actually come in here not knowing that you actually want to go the pre-med route.
Yeah.
To take a class that kind of inspires you and to make you realize that you want to be in a position of impact and to make decisions and change lives.
For
But
sure.
then to try to go out of your way to email people to come on board, research experience and all that. So this whole pre-med application, right? I know it's tough. I know there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just it's not the MCAT alone, right?
Yeah.
It's a whole package.
It's a whole,
So how much of it do you feel like is actually like faking, and how much of it has to do with passion? Because some people may want to become doctors, but they know that if I engage in this extracurricular activity, it's going to hype up my application.
Right.
So at that point, do you go for what you're passionate about and hope that your passion gets you there, or do you go out of your way to find what works with regards to applications and try to do something you're not so passionate about?
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because there are definitely things that I did, that were mainly for my application, and then there were things that I did that helped my application, but also were mainly because like I was passionate about it. So I think for me, it's just making sure that I have a balance between those things, because for me in high school, I like never did anything I was passionate about. Like in high school, all the things that I did, like all the extracurriculars I got involved with, were solely for the college resume, and my life sucked because of it. Like I just wasn't happy, And then on top of that, my high school was really competitive and cutthroat, so that just made things worse, you know. So coming to college, I was just like, okay, I need to change this mindset. Like, I can't have this mindset where I'm doing everything just for the sake of making it to the next step, right? I need to do things that will make me happy in the meantime and will also make others happy as well, right? So it took some time, you know, because freshman year I like got involved with like a bunch of different things, but then like sophomore year and come junior year I started to like narrow those things down, and I think I was able to strike a pretty good balance between like things I was passionate about, so things like becoming a preceptor, getting involved with VSVS, getting involved with the Red Cross organization. Those were things that like I was actually passionate about and made me happy. And then there are like other things like research. Like I'm not the biggest fan of research. Like I worked in 3 labs. My first 2 labs that I worked in were like biology focused labs. So I was like just like sitting in front of a lab bench, like pipetting and like doing like all these like biological experiments, like electrophoresis and stuff like that. And I was just not about it. Like I know some people like it, but like it just wasn't for me. But I knew that I had to do it in order to put myself in the best position possible to get into medical school. But I was able to be like, okay, I know I'm not a fan of this, but at the very least I have these other things that make me happy, you know, like VSEP, Red Cross, VSVS. So that balance, striking that balance is definitely very important.
Right. And I know you mentioned passion a lot, and I know there are people who just hope to become doctors, right? Doctors because they feel like that should be their end goal. I mean, they feel like it will be something they'll enjoy in the future, but in the present moment, they hate the process. They hate the research. They hate the classes. They don't have the motivation you had with your class to freshman year. So what advice do you have for someone who's hoping to develop a passion in the future? I mean, I feel like it starts now. So what do you say to someone like that?
Yeah, I know, and it's definitely really tough. Like I had many moments like throughout my Vanderbilt life where like I was just like, nah, screw this. Like I don't want to become a doctor. Like this stuff's too hard. It's too challenging. Like I don't want to like make my life surrounded like by this.
Like pets.
Yeah, you know, like just like all this stuff. Like I'm not gonna enjoy my life if it's so hard. But I think what's important to keep in mind is like your pre-med classes are not what medicine is like. You know, which is like kind of ironic because you know you would think that the pre-med classes would genuinely prepare you for medical school and prepare you for the field of medicine, but like general chemistry, organic chemistry, you know, you're not going to use that stuff much. And
that's sad.
Just sad, yeah. Like you're going to use like aspects of biology and biochemistry, but like for example, like in Intro to Bio, like there's like an entire like section dedicated to learning about plants and like learning about like evolution and stuff. Like, and yeah, sure, some people are interested in that, which is cool, but
do you find some of these questions on the main exam when you
wow,
that's real sad.
Yeah, so it's just like, you know, like your pre-med, don't let the pre-med classes like dictate your passion for medicine, right? Like, yes, you have to do well in them in order to get into medical school and whatnot, but don't be like, oh man, you know, I don't want to keep doing general chemistry for the rest of my life, or keep doing organic chemistry for the rest of my life, because that's not what medicine's going to be like. Medicine's not going to be like organic chemistry, gen chem, biochem, you know, it's going to be about truly helping people, and like helping people on like a small scale by like helping healing patients and whatnot, and also on a larger scale as well. So, yeah.
So Ashvin, how would you advise someone who's a freshman at Vanderbilt? Out here considering the pre-med track? This person wants to get involved in extracurricular activities, but realizes that, man, this course load is tough. Because when it brings us, it's a tough experience on trying to combine research, extracurricular, academics, social life. How would you advise someone to go about that based off your personal experience?
So I'd say in a more general sense, don't compare yourself to other people. So I know for me, and also like with this current freshman class, there are a lot of freshmen who take both like general chemistry and biology together. But I know for me personally, I like would not have been able to handle that, so like that's why I didn't do it. But like at the same time, it was like really hard to not compare myself to other people who were doing both gen chem and bio, and were doing well in both of those classes, you know. So I'd say, you know, create a course load for you that you know you can accomplish, and you know you can balance with your extracurriculars and research, etc. Right? Because even though like your friend might be doing bio and gen chem and research and
Excel, actually doing very well at that.
yeah, and they might be doing well in it, but like you never know, they could be like struggling emotionally, like they might not be getting much sleep, like they could be struggling a lot inside, right? And like your mental and emotional well-being should be your first priority.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
that's
like,
powerful.
Absolutely should be. So that's like the piece of advice I would give to a freshman, like construct a course load that will work for you and that allows you to still engage in forms of self-care and allows you to just like take care of yourself amidst all the challenges you have in front of you.
Right. That's very powerful because the whole commerce experience just puts us in a position to just compare so much.
Yeah.
You go to breakfast and you're like, what classes are you taking?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you know that test?
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's just so easy to compare ourselves to other people, but putting what you said into perspective, I feel like it's going to be a long way to help people. So that's very insightful in the long run. I'm happy you could review that. So I'm so happy to have you here, and I'm happy you could share some insights about your pre-med journey. I'm happy you got into med schools, and I'm happy you have options. You get to choose which med school to go to. That's also great for most people, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm just so proud of you, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you. And the other things you're yet to accomplish, bro. Such a bright future.
I really appreciate it. You too, man. You have a really bright future.
Thank you. Let's hype me up. Thanks for coming,
Ashvin. Thank you so much, man. This was awesome. Thank you.
Alright, okay guys, thank you for staying tuned, and until next time, bye.